This year, Adani Green Talks showcased a series of groundbreaking innovations poised to address some of society's most pressing challenges in remarkably novel and impactful ways.
It's now time to begin what lies at the heart of the Adani Green Talks, hearing from social entrepreneurs themselves.
वो इनोवेटर्स हैं जो बोल्ड आइडियाज को हकीकत में बदल रहे हैं, तो आइए शुरुआत करते हैं.
The presentations opened with Trestle Labs presenting their innovation, Kibo, a transformative solution that empowers visually impaired individuals to access any printed or digital content through real-time audio in the language of their choice. This pioneering technology is driving inclusion and independence for over 2 lakh people across education and employment sectors.
I'm so happy to be a part of this platform to share this energy with all of you today. What you see on the screen right now is exactly what almost all persons with blindness and visual impairment see every single day. When I realized this as a third-year college student in computer science, I built a little hand glove which has obstacle detection sensors on the wrist, and it could give you a little vibration when a visually impaired person tries to move around. It has a camera on the index finger, so you could just point anywhere and it would read and describe things for you. Honestly, for me, it was just a college project until I met this young boy in one of the blind schools in Delhi. He used this little glove prototype of mine and he called his dad back home. He said, "Dad, ethe scientist aaye ne, sade saaryan vaste gloves banaye ne. Some scientists have come to my school and they have built gloves for all of us. I read the first newspaper of my life independently today. I moved around the school on my own." He was super excited. He turned back to me saying, "Didi, when can I get this?" Honestly, I did not have any answer to his question back then. But his question hit me here. And I decided this is something that I need to find an answer to. And that quest took me to this place in Nashik called Digital Impact Square, which is a social innovation center where they cherry pick socially motivated individuals to solve social problems with technology. That's where I found my co-founder Bonnie, who shares the same passion and purpose as I do. And together, we got on this journey, traveling across 5 different cities, meeting 150 visually impaired individuals, all the way from early grade learners to people pursuing PhD, working at a bank, or preparing for UPSC exams. And one such interaction amidst all of them was Dipali. When I met Dipali, I got to know a brilliant girl who lost her eyesight at the age of 17, just when she completed her first semester in college. Next 2 years, she tried learning Braille. But as a late blind at that age, your tactile and your cognitive ability is not developed enough to learn Braille. Next 3 years, she tried getting admission in a regular college, but no college was ready to accept her. Finally, when she got into an open university, she got printed books from there and had to go to an NGO to get them audio recorded. And one 300-page book would take 4 to 6 weeks to get audio recorded. When I and Bonnie got to know this, we picked up all her books, took it to our center in Nashik, digitized it, gave it to her in the form of a mobile application. And 3 months later, Dipali calls me, saying, "Akshata, Bonnie, I'm standing in the line." I said, "Where?" She said, "I'm standing in the line to fill the form for my 3rd year because I cleared my 2nd year in a single attempt." That was exactly when we realized the power of content accessibility in real time through audio, even for people who do not know Braille. And that's how the journey of developing our first prototype started, where we developed a talking table lamp-like device which could read English, Hindi and Marathi documents when you keep it under them. We tried different iterations. We tried it across different users. And finally, we launched it on 4th of January 2018. So this is the launch photograph when we launched it on 4th of January 2018. After the launch, there was no looking back. We started getting orders all the way from IIM Ahmedabad to all the universities in Nashik who wanted to have this one device that could read Marathi. Because at that time, all the products that were being imported from other countries could only read printed English. And I remember as a child, when I used to study, I used to borrow notes from my friends. I used to read books in the languages that I loved. And when that happened, I felt happy. But this is not the privilege that a lot of persons with visual impairment had. And as we dug deeper in the challenge, we realized this barrier is not just limited to persons with visual impairment. It also hampers people with language and literacy barriers who live in remote and rural communities. And for them, we developed Kibo, which is a short form for knowledge in a box, wherein it's a magical talking table lamp. You keep anything under it and it reads it out to you in any language you want. You can keep an English book, hear it in Marathi, Tamil, even keep a Sanskrit book and hear it in Spanish or French. So language was no longer a barrier with Kibo. Over the last 7 years, we have empowered 750 plus institutions, empowering 200,000 plus visually impaired individuals across 25 different countries while being bootstrapped and profitable. And I'm so proud and happy to share that Kibo has also been implemented at the Indian Parliament Library. And I was fortunate enough to share our vision and mission at a national level by meeting the Honorable President and Prime Minister of India last year on Republic Day as well. We also presented our solution on Shark Tank India, and that's where something changed. While this definitely helped us broaden our impact footprint in the education and government sector, we were actually seeing a lot of requests coming from corporates, banks, insurance companies who wanted us to extract data from Indian language handwritten documents, your handwritten prescriptions for medical insurance. And that's when we built Kibo as an engine to transform any unstructured, handwritten, printed, multilingual documents into structured data. So whether it's a medical prescription or whether it's a Marathi document, which is a service book of an employee, to directly be imported in an eHRMS platform, or when you talk about the Lok Sabha debate from 1952 being translated from Hindi and Urdu to English, all with Kibo, and the ability to translate, transcribe video content across different languages. Kibo could easily also transform any PowerPoint presentation into an audio described PPT for all visually impaired individuals. So they have access just like how we all do. एंड इसी के साथ मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगी कि ये हमारी टीम है, कीबो की टीम, जो बहुत पैशनेटली वर्क्स टुगेदर टू मेक एजुकेशन एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट इंक्लूसिव फॉर एवरीवन. And I'm not sure if you spotted Dipali in this, the girl because of whom this entire journey started for us, who inspired us to be on this journey. Dipali, after completing her graduation, joined us in November 2022. And when Dipali joined us, we asked her, Dipali, what's your dream? She said, Akshata, my dream is to buy a home for my parents because they live in a rented home right now. I'm so happy to share that last year, on 5th of August 2024, Dipali celebrated the housewarming puja of the new home which she and her brother gifted to her parents, and she's paying the EMIs with her salary. I'm so happy to share that Dipali is here with all of us today, and I would love to
नमस्ते, मैं वही दीपाली हूँ जिसके बारे में अभी अक्षिता ने बात किया। जब मुझे दिखाई देता था तब मैं किताबों को पढ़कर उन्हें समझ लेती थी, लेकिन जब मेरा विजन लॉस हुआ तब मेरे सामने सबसे बड़ा सवाल था उन किताबों को पढ़ना, जो कीबो ने सॉल्व कर दिया, और उसकी मदद से मैंने अपनी एजुकेशन को कंप्लीट किया। बचपन से मेरा सपना था कि मैं अपनी एजुकेशन कंप्लीट करके ऑफिशियल जॉब करूं, जो अपॉर्चुनिटी मुझे ट्रेसल लैब्स ने प्रोवाइड किया है। टेक्नोलॉजी बहुत आगे बढ़ गई है। मैं वैसे ही लैपटॉप यूज़ करती हूँ जिसे आप सब लोग यूज़ करते हैं, लेकिन स्क्रीन रीडर की मदद से। वैसे ही स्मार्टफोन यूज़ करती हूँ जिसे आप सब लोग यूज़ कर रहे हैं, लेकिन टॉकबैक की मदद से। पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटी कोई भी काम कर सकती है, जैसे आप सब लोग अभी कर रहे हैं। इन द केस अगर कोई हार्ड डॉक्यूमेंट कॉपी मुझे रिसीव होती है तो मैं इमीडिएटली कीबो से स्कैन करके उन्हें पढ़ लेती हूँ। आज इस मंच से मैं यही कहना चाहती हूँ कि हमें सिंपैथी की नज़रिए से ना देखा जाए, हमें अपॉर्चुनिटी दिया जाए। और जो अपॉर्चुनिटी मुझे ट्रेसल लैब्स ने प्रोवाइड किया है और जिसकी वजह से मैं आज अपने सपनों को पूरा कर पाई हूँ। लेकिन सपने तो सबके होते हैं ना, बस हमें एक अपॉर्चुनिटी दीजिए, हम ज़रूर करके दिखाएंगे।
Following Trestle Labs, RecycleX introduced an innovative approach to combating climate change by transforming plastic and industrial waste into sustainable, carbon-negative building materials. The solution not only addresses environmental degradation but also redefines the future of eco-conscious construction.
A very good afternoon, everyone. We all have heard the phrase that we live in a concrete jungle. Concrete is the backbone of our civilization. It is the backbone of our cities. But what if I tell you it is a ticking time bomb? It is the most used man-made material on earth, and it has a serious problem. When I see a building, I don't see the place where we live or work. I see a big monster consuming our natural resources and breathing out carbon dioxide. If we don't do anything about it, we'll be facing a problem which is the biggest, called climate change. Concrete, as I mentioned, uses cement as a binder, globally responsible for 8% of global carbon emissions. Apart from that, it is using 10% of our water, fresh water. And finally, because it has no value at the end, it leaves a lot of waste ending up in our landfills. On the other hand, India is the fastest growing economy in this world. We are the second largest producer of steel and coal. These two industries leave a lot of waste, around 200 million metric tons every year. Now this site is across India, where the industrial waste, because of ineffective waste policies and no solution where it can be used as a value-added product, is the real image. From my childhood, I'm a Gujarati chokro who has seen all these industries come up around our place, and it's a big problem. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, I'm Abhishek Chhajer, co-founder of RecycleX, and we started this with a mission to solve this problem, to solve India's climate problem, the industrial waste problem, and to mitigate India's 1% carbon emission. We came up with a solution called Eco-Concrete. So what Eco-Concrete does is basically eliminate the cement inside concrete. Now how we do it is we have come up with a proprietary material, the Rex Admix. Once, traditional concrete has three main ingredients: the cement, the sand, and the aggregate. Once you add water to it, you get a thick paste. What we have done is completely eliminated cement inside it. You get a similar material with 75% less carbon footprint, is using waste as a resource. And finally, it is as versatile as anything. It is compatible with all the standards out there, and it can be made in the same machine that we are using right now. To give you context, eco-concrete is as good as the traditional one in density, in strength, in flexural strength. But there are three major benefits that we have. One, we all have seen, we pour a lot of water on concrete, using that pipe, whether it is a house or a flooring. Eco-concrete does not use a single drop of water. So we save around 80% of water that goes after the concrete is made. Second, as I said, we are using a lot of waste. So it is putting that waste which is enabled in landfills into something valuable. And finally, because it has 75% less carbon emission, we are saving the environment. But when we first came up with this material, the biggest challenge was, why would anyone put this waste building material into their houses? This was the first brick and paver that we made in 2020. Went to the local laboratories, tested the material, and we figured out, okay, we are onto something. We can really do it. But again, the market hit us. No one was willing to buy it. So the only solution was, we built my own co-founder's house using the bricks. This is a G+2 house made using 50,000 of our own bricks as the first pilot that we did in Bharuch, Gujarat. As we grew, the market became more the product was got accepted. We opened up our first factory in 2022. With this, we were able to manufacture 8 to 10,000 bricks every day. In the last 4 years, we have a roller coaster of a ride. We have recycled more than 10,000 tons of waste, saved more than 5,000 tons of carbon emission. And finally, to prove our material out there, we have sold more than 3 million building materials. Our company is actively working on SDGs 9, 11, 12, and 13. But there's something which is more special to my heart. We have all heard Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana housing. This is a house about 400 square feet in size, uses about 6,000 bricks in one house. Now, when we started manufacturing, there were 1,000 plus houses coming nearby, around 10 kilometers from our factory. Because of that, we started supplying them. In the last 4 years, we supplied 30 lakh bricks just to these houses, built 500 Awas Yojana houses. And in the process, we saved more than 1,000 tons of waste and saved a lot of money. As I mentioned, our eco brick costs around 4 rupees right now. The traditional red mud brick was around 7 in the same market. Now a family whose whole house is costing 3.5 lakh rupees, once used our 6,000 bricks, were able to save 18,000. હવે તમારા અને મારા માટે 18,000 રૂપિયા વધારે નથી. But for a house that is made at 3.5 lakh rupees, it's 5% saving. They can spend that money on other amenities. In the last 4 years, we have done a lot of installations from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. This is India's first concrete road which is completely cementless. We did this in Bangalore at KV Army Public School. This is a public road that was done this year, has been performing well for the last 6 months. Again, we have done a lot of other installations from, as you can see on the left, the road was completely gone. Now we have done it with eco pavers and it looks like a resort, actually. We have done installations at Kargil at 20,000 altitude. We have done high-rise buildings. We have done industrial parks. We have done social, rural development. We have done urban development. On the extreme left, there's a Gujarat Electricity Board building. In this building alone, we have installed 5 lakh bricks of ours. Again, saving tons of waste and carbon dioxide. But the problem is not yet completed. We are the fastest growing economy. We need 100 million houses in the next 10 years. That means 10 million houses every year. We need urban development, faster roads, and faster construction. I feel that we have just started a mission. And I feel precast is the real solution to our urban infra need. And with eco-concrete as the backbone material and precast as the technology, I think that is the real solution. And that's where what we have done is, we are not pushing this alone. We are doing collaborative manufacturing with all those thousands of concrete manufacturers across India, making them as our partners, working with them, giving them the technology, and then pushing the product in the market. This way, we are creating or trying to create a win-win solution for India as well as for everyone. We are just not stopping there. We know that eco-concrete is small right now, and traditional concrete will always has its place in the market. We have to decarbonize that as well. We have started doing carbon sequestering, taking the carbon dioxide from the environment and putting it inside concrete to make that as well low carbon. Apart from that, for our urban needs, we are doing precast roads, so we don't have to wait a month for that road to become to start. We can do that in less than 2 days. Similarly, RMC and modular housing is something that we are looking upon. When I mean that we are working on it, we are actively working on it. This is one of the factories that we are manufacturing. As you can see, each chamber can have 2,000 pavers at a time, can sequester 1 ton of CO2 in less than 2 hours. The trials have been going on, the results are positive, and we are yet to bring the technology to the market. This has been our small journey. Imagine, with 10,000 tons of waste, we have been able to do this. Imagine what the world wastes if it becomes a resource, what we can do. And that's where I ask every one of you to let's join hands together and build our world and not destroy it. Thank you.
Join us in the next episode as we continue to spotlight transformative ideas that are shaping a more sustainable and equitable future.